What's up, YouTube guys? We're back here with the Neuma 5 Flex. Today I'm going to unbox it for you. I'm going to give you my rating on the build qualities list and things like that. And I'm also going to give you my hands-on experience on what I've experienced over the last couple months of using it. Appreciate you guys. Get ready. All right, guys, so backstory on this tattoo machine is I ordered it back in January, okay? I received it relatively quick shipping time. And honestly, I was a little skeptical on ordering it just because of the Neumas that I used in the previous times. I wasn't a big, huge fan of. But I said, you know what? I think that is really cool that they use the critical connect batteries that are just magnetic. Let me give this a go. So for the unboxing, this isn't the first unboxing that I've used it. Obviously, I've used it for the last couple months, as you could tell in the beginning of the video. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna unbox it. I'm gonna show you guys what comes inside. I'm gonna explain what different size cams are and things like that. Then we're gonna go over the build quality and kind of get into depth on my opinion on the way that the machine runs, handles, weight, things like that. And then we're gonna get right into my user experience, and we'll post some pictures on tattoos that I've done using them or using this machine and what kind of cartridges and things like that I used with it. So unboxing it, first thing you're gonna notice is it's kind of got this really cool little window in here. I've never seen that done before on any tattoo machines. I think it's really cool. It presents it really nicely, especially if you store your machine in the actual original packaging like you usually do. I don't. This is just gonna go right on top of my shelf. The machine's gonna go right in my box with all my other ones. It's very sturdy. It's a very thick box, so it's definitely protected. It comes secured in a little foam housing, which is nice. It comes with your lube or oil. You're 100% going to need this, so don't just like kind of toss this, because each part of the mechanisms inside of this machine actually need to be lubed regularly and cleaned, okay? So here you're gonna have the actual machine itself coming out of the package. You've got the critical connect battery, which is really cool. You got the nice display screen. You can preset a couple different settings and things like that on it. It also has a very decent battery life. I just tattooed a few days ago. It was 9 hours, and then it finally died. And then I just kind of took 2 of the shorty packs and wrapped those up, popped them on there for the remaining hour of my tattoo. It was no big deal, okay? So popping this off, you're gonna see the magnetic top here, okay, which is super cool. This is a critical battery pack right here. I'm gonna turn it on right here. It's gonna come up, it's gonna show you a little critical display screen. These are compatible with the Bishop power wands. It's the same battery that comes on the critical torque, same battery that matches up with the power wands, and now they put it on the Neuma 5 Flex, which I think is super cool. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys on my rating of the machine at the end of the video. This has made it to the top 3 machines for me. So I'm gonna let you guys know the order that this one falls at the end of the video, so stay tuned on that. Preset, this one comes preset to 10, okay? I hit it all the time. It really frustrated me. So I changed the preset to 8, because every time that I would like adjust my machine, I would accidentally hit preset, and all of a sudden it would go from 7 to be banging out at 10. It's really annoying. So be sure, if you're gonna get this machine, I really suggest it. Change your presets, or it's probably gonna happen to you as well. So getting into the actual mechanism of this tattoo machine, once you kind of take this off here, the grip, it's no different than any other Neuma once you get inside of the grip. With the grip on the outside, it's like any other rotary machine, but it's when you get to this point, things start to change, okay? So this machine does come with 3.6 cam, and that's through the board. The only thing that changes is the actual cams itself that you change within the spring that are on the outside of the plunger bar, okay? Or kind of the, not plunger bar, but kind of the circular mechanism that goes on that turns the cam. And you'll see one of the cams actually. I'll just pull one out right here for you guys so you know what I'm talking about. As the motor's spinning, you kind of have almost like a ramp that kind of is what drives the machine to do what you need it to do. So for example, this is a 40% cam, okay? The 40% cam is for packing, and each and every one are labeled and meant to do a different purpose of your tattoo machine. And this is why I really enjoy this tattoo machine, as I do enjoy the M1 as well. You can really set this machine up to do exactly whatever you wanted to do, and that's what I love so much about this tattoo machine. I was very skeptical at first, but as I got my hands on it, I started to kind of do a little bit of research. It's not nearly as bad as, to me, what the older ones were, but I also did put a little bit more time into this as well. So I was able to get my Neuma 4 taken apart, figured out what was wrong with it, and get it working the way that it's supposed to be working, thanks to the Neuma Flex. So once you get to this part of the Neuma Flex, here's how you change your cams. You just twist the top off like this. Be very, very careful because the spring will launch out on you. Here's the spring. It does come off at the top of this, but I'm going to leave this here for video purposes. That spring does come off. You do oil the cams on the inside. So once you do this, you're going to see two little pins that the cams are going to fall under, and it's really as simple. Like, here's a cam here, okay? You just put the cam right back in. And I do use the two little holes that are on here to line up the pins. As you can see, there's a hole here and there's a hole here, and I use those to line the cam up when I put the new cam in and take the new cam out. You do want to put some oil or lube right inside of the crevices of this, as you know, it's gonna restrict the friction and heat and things like that that are gonna wear and tear on this part, because eventually you are going to need to replace the cams, as usual for anything in life that you use and it gets wear and tear on. But that is the inside mechanism. It really is that simple. What you do is you just kind of take the spring, make sure it's dead center of here, find it, boom, twist, it's locked back in, okay? Put your grip back on, put your battery on, boom. This machine is really that simple to put together, take apart. It's not as complicated as it is. There is a rubber ring that does come around on it that usually is there. I just took it off just because it's just easier. I didn't mean to do that, but that's what I mean when you're twisting your grip. It's really easy to hit these presets and start. So I did see videos of people who really do like having that ring on because it helps secure like bags and things like that. For me, I don't like it. The reason is because I can't adjust my depth of my needle, and I don't like that. So I do barrier film it, and then I just bag the battery, pop the battery on top, because if I need to change the battery, I just rebag a different battery and boom, pop it right on top. And then it also gives me the freedom to turn the grip as needed. I autoclave all my grips anyway, so it's really not a big deal for me per se inside of the shop. If I don't wrap my grips, I do. Again, it's not a big deal because I do autoclave my stuff. So if I was at a convention, things like that, it's barrier film. I use barrier film for just about everything, including even when I do autoclave it, I barrier film it. I always recommend that, man. Be super clean as possible. But the machine is very cool, and I do find the machine to be very sterile because you can take it pretty much apart all the way down to the cam, which is amazing to me because of how sterile you can actually make the machine each and every time you use it. But back to unboxing it. So what you're gonna get with this is you're gonna get a 40%, 33%, a 28%, and a 20% cam. I am currently running, I got 33. I'm currently running the 28% cam, which is for shading, okay? That is what's currently in here. But it does come with all the cams, which is super cool. Other than that, the box is empty. You got your cams, your machine, and your oil. That's really all you need. It gives you the invoice, things like that. Here's that. And I always just make notes on the back because it does tell you online what each percent of the cam's for. It helps give you understanding on like how much time each rotation the needle spends in the skin, things like that. And that's what the percentage is on the needle. If you would like to get into that, check that out too as well on the Neuma website. It'll explain it all, break it down for you. Now getting into the build quality and things like that. The machining on this machine is super cool. I really enjoy the weight of it. I enjoy the smoothness of it. It is a little bit more chattery and loud than the other tattoo machines, but that is just due to the mechanism of the inside. It does quiet up quite a bit when you have a cartridge in it, which I'll turn it on for you now. I just have to get it. Shout out to Peach Cartridges. We're gonna use a Peach cartridge here for the example, and we'll get it turned on for you guys now. So the build quality out of 5 stars, I'm gonna have to give it 5 stars. I think that they did a really good job engineering this. The grip is very, very comfy. It's really easy to wrap. It clings to barrier film really well. I love the magnetic design for the critical connect batteries that are on the Power Wand and the Torque. I really definitely enjoy these batteries itself. They have a great battery life. I do enjoy the blue color of the actual metal that they have for the finish. So we're going to put the cartridge in it, boom, and we're gonna give this thing a start at 7.2 volts. And you can hear it is not loud, it is not clunky, it is very smooth. It's very efficient. I genuinely enjoy using this tattoo machine. I've used it maybe 70% of the time over the last 2 months on my tattoos, and I'm very impressed with it. So build quality is definitely going to be 5 stars out of 5 stars. What's next? Comfortability. Comfortability is also going to be 5 stars. As I use it for multiple hours on long sessions, and I feel no fatigue in my hand, especially with the Shorty battery. The Shorty battery is prime on this machine. It literally brings this thing down pretty much to the size of a power wand, or actually maybe even to the size of OG wand, to be honest with you. So here we have an OG wand, and it's not much different in comparison to size of the OG wand with no battery. It's very comfortable in your hand. You don't have a lot of top weight. It doesn't cause any fatigue, no numbness. It doesn't vibrate very heavy as you would think. Even with this at 7.9 volts, this does have jump start. That's why you kind of hear it ramp up when it first started. I do like the machine a lot. Comfortability is 5 out of 5. Battery life on this. These batteries, honestly, even since the critical torque, power wand, etc., these specific batteries here, they didn't come on the power wand, but they do come on the critical torque. They've been pretty consistent. They haven't had many like ups or downs and things like that. These batteries, on the other hand, the ones that come on the Bishop power wands, the Shorty battery packs, I don't like the consistency of the battery. Sometimes it'll say 99%, you'll hit start, 5 minutes, it'll drop down to 82%. I don't know if anybody else has that issue with it, but it's been like that since I purchased them. I do, excuse me, I do, although love the feeling of the tattoo machine when we are comparing the Shorty power pack to the regular critical power packs, because as you can see here, the comparison is it's about almost double the size. So you are going to notice a difference on the top end weight of it, but you also do notice a difference with the bigger batteries on battery life. So the battery life on the V-Charged ones that are a little bit shorter for the critical, 2, maybe 3 if you get good ones. It really does make like 3 to 5 hours at best. The really bad battery that drops quickly, maybe about 2 hours. This battery here, 8 to 10 hours as advertised. It's very nice. I definitely enjoy using both of them. I do like the feeling of this one better. I love the battery life of this one much more. Let's get into customer service. Honestly, I think the customer service is great. I didn't reach out to Carson Hill or anything like that, never have. But he did send a package the other day to the shop, and it was very cool. It was I believe it was a spring, and it was just concern of a faulty part on one of the machines. To me, that shows that he definitely cares. Oh, here it is. It was a letter from Carson Hill, and it came with a spring and the top. It looks like a plastic top, maybe. I haven't opened any of this yet, but it's definitely plastic. I think there was just a concern that maybe that this was a faulty part or something, and I definitely highly respect that he sent this out and concerned that something wasn't right with the machine. So that shows integrity, and I can definitely really appreciate that from the company. Yeah, it's definitely a top that he sent for this machine. He also sent an additional spring, but this spring doesn't seem to be as, this spring looks to be a little bit lighter. So if anybody can comment at the bottom on what the difference in the springs are. As you can see here, the spring is coiled much tighter on the factory spring versus the spring that Carson Hill sent. I'm not sure what the difference on that is. Maybe somebody in the bottom comments can explain, because genuinely I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like a different give or something. I am not 100% sure, but I'm gonna put the one that didn't come in the machine back, as well as the spring back in what Carson Hill sent, which again, I appreciate you, Carson. Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna put this back. Boom, that goes back in there. Grip goes back on. and the machine's put back together. So customer service has to be great because obviously he's sending things out even when you didn't ask for it, if there was a concern within the company. So that's awesome. And what's the next one? So the cost on this tattoo machine, honestly, depending on where you're at, depending on the shipping, you know, you're looking anywhere between $1,100, $1,200 to $1,400 and $1,500, depending on the shipping, how fast you want it. It's in comparison to every other tattoo machine on the market. I'm gonna be honest with you, that is on the higher end. Now, of course, you have like the ink-in machine where you can get for 100, but it's not comparable though. In comparison to the higher end tattoo machines, 100% it's worth it. I do put it on the same level as like the M1 and the Sol Nova because in my opinion, I really enjoy operating this tattoo machine and discovering different setups and different voltages and different cams and different usages that I'm able to use to accomplish different style of tattoos. So as far as it being compared to other tattoo machines, I think it's right in the right area. It's a little bit higher end, but when you're doing big, huge tattoos, the higher end prices really shouldn't matter to you when you're doing big, huge pieces that people are going to be walking around with forever. You want to have the proper tools to do so. With that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next video as we're going to be changing my 2024 top 5 tattoo machines, and that's going to be coming up on the next video. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.